Associates have been statutory auditor of the company Ish and Wish Limited, a listed company. CA Bishop, the engagement partner, has designated certain substantive procedures on the selected assertions in response to the assessed risk of material misstatement for the year under the audit. Now, these assertions were not examined by him in the previous years due to materiality or the risk consideration. Mr. Yug leads the internal audit department of the company and reports to the company's audit committee. During a audit, a senior member of the engagement team decides to engage Mr. Yug to provide a direct assistance in performing the above substantive procedures. Comment upon the relevant standards on auditing and what are the precautions an auditor should undertake when he undertakes the service of the internal auditor providing a direct assistance. What steps he has to take and what standards he has to apply in this regard. The standard that is applicable here is SA 610, using the work of the internal auditor. Prior to the using the work of internal auditor to provide a direct assistance for the purpose of audit, so internal auditor providing direct assistance, IAPDA, internal auditor providing direct assistance for the purpose of audit, the external auditor shall obtain a written agreement from an authorized representative of the entity that the internal auditor will be allowed to follow the external auditor's instructions and that the entity will not intervene in the work of the internal auditor perform for the external auditor. That's the thing. So he has to obtain a written agreement from the authorized representative of the entity that the internal auditor will be allowed to follow the external auditor's instructions very clearly, and the entity will not intervene in the work of internal auditor providing the work for the external auditor. Second thing, he has to obtain a written agreement from the internal auditor that they will keep confidential specific matters as instructed by the external auditor. So they'll keep certain matters, they'll keep confidential certain specific matters as instructed by the external auditor and inform external auditor about any threat to their objectivity. That's the thing here. So inform the external auditor about any kind of threat to their objectivity. If using the internal auditor providing direct assistance is not prohibited by laws and regulation, then external auditor can plan use the work of internal auditor providing direct assistance on the audit. External auditor shall evaluate the existence of and the significance of any threat to the objectivity of the internal auditor providing direct assistance, and also what is the level of competence of the internal auditor who will be providing such assistance, who will be giving the assistance. External auditor shall not use the internal auditor to provide direct assistance where there are significant threats to the objectivity of the internal auditor and the internal auditor lacks sufficient competence to perform the proposed work. In the current scenario, what has happened, the statutory auditors of Wish and Wish Limited, a listed company. So CA Visham engagement partner designed certain substantive procedure on the selected assertion in response to the risk of material misstatement for the year which were not previously examined. Mr. Yug, head of internal audit department, reports to the audit committee. A senior audit team member decides to involve Mr. Yug in performing these substantive procedures. As a result, Rajveer and Associate is required to obtain a written agreement from both the entity and the internal auditor. Entity is that it will allow the auditor to use the work to take the assistance of the internal auditor. And a written agreement from the internal auditor that regarding their cooperation and confidentiality. Further, using an internal auditor provide a direct assistance could prove a counterproductive and defeat the very purpose design for such substantive procedure. Hence, the decision of the senior management team member to use Mr. Yug direct assistance on the above matters is not in order. Okay, so that's the thing actually here. So if you're using what is happening, my dear soldiers, that without these requirements, it is serving the purpose actually here. So now basically you're using to it will defeat the very purpose of designing the substantive procedures. That's the thing here. So the decision of senior engagement team member to use Mr. Yug for to provide a direct assistance for the above matters for designing the substantive procedures. In order is not definitely not in order actually, and it is not as per the SA 610. Okay, they have not complied with the requirement of SA 610. I'll see you in the next video.